Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, Kevin Durant does it once again, right? Kevin Durant does it again on Twitter or X. Kevin Durant claps back on X to X people. So basically, Kevin Durant claps back on social media about social media. And look, it doesn't matter what anybody said about him, Team USA, none of this stuff. Only thing that matters is you go get the gold medal and you bring that home first. None of this matters after you barely beat Serbia. Who the hell is Serbia? Nobody. Who the hell is any of these teams in the Olympics when you got 9 superstars and 9 future Hall of Famers? Who are these guys? Nobody's. What you should be mad about, what you should be talking about, is the fact that they have catapulted LeBron James to the top of this Olympic team, while people like you, Kevin Durant, and Curry pretty much saved this guy. And I even seen, I think it was yesterday, they were doing a preview of the gold medal game, and who did they have? They had LeBron, and they was talking about LeBron, and it's just sad, man. This is who you should be clapping back at. You shouldn't be clapping back at fans. You shouldn't be clapping back at social media, people who have an opinion. This is who you should be clapping back at, the media. You're saying on here that it's about, basically about a brotherhood, and it's about the team. But all they talk about while you guys are hitting big shots, Curry and you, Mr. Durant, they're talking about LeBron James. So you don't feel the need to clap back at that you guys are pretty much carrying this guy, but you will clap back at some fans who basically telling the truth. You didn't beat nobody. You didn't beat nobody. And on top of that, to make it worse, you got put in the weakest group pool. They put all the good teams in Group A, put all the second best teams in Group B, and put the worst teams in Group C. So how did the United States find itself in the worst group pool, which will be Group C, if they're not only better than the Dream Team, but the best team out of all groups? It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. And how can people respect this gold medal? And from the start, if the U.S. man would have just jumped out there and started playing and nothing be said, right? Just go out there and play and contend. You really couldn't get exposed like you've been getting exposed, not only in the game, but on social media. You've been getting exposed, right? But instead what happened was, it was the media who said, oh, this is the greatest team ever put together. This team is better than the Dream Team. This team, blah, blah, blah. It's all these NBA players, all these international NBA players that played in the NBA, that's this big challenge to this team. All this was said. All this was said, and now people have opinions. You barely beat Serbia. You almost lost in the scrimmage game to Sudan. You've been getting a whole bunch of foul calls that you don't deserve. You're traveling, you're carrying, you're flopping. You're doing all this stuff. So let's look at this real quick. What Kevin Durant claps back on social media. See what he says. Like I said, I don't care what somebody said to him. I mean, this dude is a fool. He said, let's talk about the fan culture that's been created recently. A lot of huge egos who believe they are the reason for the achievement of a sport. Okay. A lot of idol worship. What do you mean idol worship? There's fans that worship you. A lot of hate and division based off of wins and losses. Okay. You should be blowing these teams out. You said you was better than the Dream Team, and we haven't seen one team with even a quarter of the superstars that you got on your team. Not even a quarter. You got 9 superstars, and I'm figuring since the bar has been lowered in the NBA period, as far as who's great, who's good, who's a superstar, then all these guys are going to the Hall of Fame, which I don't see who really isn't on this team, who is a superstar. You're trying to tell me the least biggest superstar on this team, I would say, would be Devin Booker. And I'm not calling Drew Holiday a superstar, but Devin Booker's a superstar by way of his contract. He's a superstar. Um, he's been to the NBA Finals. He was a star before Kevin Durant even arrived. And a lot of people might disagree, but you got to move on from old superstars. That's what you're doing. You're saying Kevin Durant, LeBron, Curry, these type of guys. Yes, they are superstars, but they're old superstars. The Bookers, the Anthony Edwards, these type of guys are the up and coming superstars, right? What else is? Oh, a lot of hate and division based off of wins and losses. Well, bro, you're supposed to be blowing these teams out. These teams have nobody on. I don't care if Joker was on this team. The dream team blows Serbia out. If you told me, look, man, a couple dudes on Serbia, they made all-star teams, something like this, you got to be kidding me. These guys will get railroaded. Joker would mean nothing, zero zilch to David Robinson and Patrick Ewing. He would mean nothing. They would be blocking his shot up and down the court. It would be a joke, and Joker could not push them around. It would be a joke. They'd be dunking on this guy. He would be scared to death. Anyways, a lot of disrespect of the work being put in by these incredible athletes, mostly by people who don't know what it takes to be good at anything besides talking. Go do something and get out of the way. So let's go back to that. A lot of disrespect, a lot of disrespect of the work being put in by these incredible athletes. Really? What kind of work you really putting in against plumbers, against your competition that you say played in the NBA, dudes that got come out from the D League, dudes that got 10-day contracts, dudes that used to play in the NBA and are couch potatoes and got back up after like 3-4 years, whatever like that, and said, I'm going to play for my international Olympic team. These are the people that they're including in your competition. Not all-star level players. We get it. You got a Wembanyama in here. You got a Greek Freak was in here. You had Luca. You had Joker. Right? 4 guys. Name the other superstar. So out of all this competition, 99.9% of them isn't a superstar, haven't made an all-star team, and will not be a Hall of Famer. So what are we talking about? But yet you have 9 superstars on your team that will be Hall of Famers in the future. And the rest of these guys are borderline Hall of Famers on the team, right? The Bams, the Drew Holidays. I can't think of the rest of them, but that's how crazy it is. I think the rest of them are like superstars and Hall of Famers. And Drew Holiday, he's borderline right now, especially if he wins another championship. Who knows? Bam might be a Hall of Famer. This guy is on the defensive team every single year. I think he would just need maybe like a defensive player of the year or something like that. But this guy's on the defensive team every single year. So he says to another dude, that's what y'all do. Y'all clowns. Use players to push these corny agendas. Y'all got it. This is a brotherhood, fam. You not part of it. And these guys spell like they're 12 years old again too. So it's a problem now because you social media. What? It's a problem now because social media got you clowns walking around with your chest out like you mean something. You don't. Your text don't matter. Okay. So like I said, all this really goes back to the sports media. It goes back to Fox Sports, ESPN for pumping this team up as the greatest team of all time. And we really wasn't doing this. The Olympics that Durant was on, the last one, was it 2000? Was it 2000? 2016, 2008, no, it'll be 2012. In 2008, we was not saying that, right? Even though the 2018 was good with Kobe, I do not remember them comparing that at that time to the Dream Team. And you really didn't have a big, social media back then as far as on YouTube or ESPN. I think all you had was, I don't know, it was like Cold Pizza or something like that. So I don't, even if the same media was around back then, I don't think they would be comparing the 2018 to the Dream Team, because these guys are trying to redeem, right? They called them the Redeem Team. So basically, the only guy that you had on there that was different as far as star players was Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant is the one that made the difference between them winning and losing. And they really didn't blow that Spain team out. And to me, what it tells, because you got all those superstars on that 2018, and what it tells me is a lot of these guys, and they continue to do this, it's just not about 2008. They play based off of athleticism. We're just going to beat you off of athleticism. And if that was true in the 90s, a lot of guys would have won a lot of championships, right? Or the 80s or the 90s. Hell, even the 60s. The 70s, it's never been like that. They try to fool you in this LeBron James era about this athleticism, because this is the only way he plays. He plays off of athleticism. If you see him play, what he does, he bully balls, right? He's got to get a pick or a screen to come on a smaller defender. What do you see from Curry? What do you see from Booker? What do you see from Durant? And these type of guys, they're out there shooting the ball silky smooth. They do things at a high level when they're high level players. Magic Johnson, what did you see him do? He moved the ball and he got through traffic in a congested lane, and made those assists. You don't see that from LeBron James. You see a floor spread wide the hell open and a man cutting, and they will act like this is the greatest thing you ever seen. And they will compare this man to Magic Johnson. And so that's what I'm saying. LeBron, he's not doing anything incredible. He's never had that game where you be like, man, that dude is out there killing you on that jump shot, like Mike, like Kobe, like Durant, like Curry. Sometimes if you go back and you watch, look, LeBron's game is what it is. Dunks and layups. About, I don't know, I would say about 90% of the time. Yes. Does he pull up for a jumper sometimes? Yes. Does he shoot three sometimes? Yes. But that's the majority of his game. Is going to the basket doing dunks and layups. Because if he does what Curry, Durant, Jordan, Kobe, or any of the real shooters do, and their game is 70% from the field, he's going to break it up. He can't shoot out there like that. Man, it's just sometimes, man, I'll be watching these old Bulls games, like in the playoffs and stuff, and I'm like, how the hell, like in the 90s, I'm like, how the hell did they ever compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan? This guy just kills it on the perimeter. Because a lot of times, we're like spoiled by watching these Michael Jordan highlights and these dunks and this incredible stuff he does going to the hole. And what makes it so incredible, because he's only 6'6", like 210 pounds. It maybe got up to like 215, maybe 220 in the second three-peat. But when you're going in, or those big centers, the big power forwards, and these type of guys that's already in the lane, it's just incredible. It's not like LeBron coming down the lane and just doing dunks and layups on skinny three-point shooters. He doesn't have to adjust. And that's what, if you just see Michael Jordan do dunks and layups, you won't even be intrigued. You'd be like, okay, well, what? Dunk and layup. But the fact that he would have to change up and switch up and do all these crazy moves in the air just to get his shot off, that's why you respect it. That's why you're intrigued. That's why you're in awe. Like, man, this is crazy. LeBron doesn't have to do that while he's carrying the ball and traveling with the ball. So, look, Kevin Durant should be clapping back at the Nick Wrights, the Chris Broussards, the Stephen A. Smiths, all these clowns, Gilbert Arenas, all these clowns that are trying to say this team is even close to the Dream Team. We don't care about the Dream Team's competition. We just know that if these guys lined up, the Dream Team will crush them. Because we know the Dream Team will crush Serbia. It will be no competition. And we know all their opponents that the 2024 men's Olympic team, basketball team, has faced. All these teams, which they ain't played nobody because they got put in the weakest group pool, right? So how can you even respect this team, right? The United States will crush all the competition by like 30, 40, and 50 that these guys have played so far in these Olympics. The United States will crush these guys. And I told you this before. Look, none of these guys that they're trying to propose, these international players that they're trying to propose to be a threat to the United States, these international players would not be in the NBA. They won't be in the NBA. Luka would not be in the NBA. I'm just trying to tell you right now, he would just be another international player in international play playing in Europe. That's it. He won't be there. He couldn't be in the United States. Couldn't be in the NBA. It's not going to happen. He's a good player, but they'll be ripping him up and down the court. They'll be bodying this dude. Joker, at best, will be a bench player. At best. He's too small to be a center. For him to be a power forward, he would have to go through the grind. He couldn't be out on the top of the perimeter, controlling the ball. They will rip him all over the place. I don't know if he could get those rebounds. His rebounds probably would plummet to like 4 a game. They would anyway because he won't be starting. He just couldn't. So, look, and that's just the superstar, international superstars. We're not even talking about all these other international players like the Patty Mills and the Dennis Schroeders, who this dude is like a fake Rondo. Not trying to be mean. He's a fake Rondo. They just got a lot of no names on these international teams that play for the NBA, and we're supposed to be impressed. Because these no-name guys who never made an all-star team were 10-day contracts, 20-day contracts. Somebody got hurt. They came up from the D-League. Bench warmers. They would never make the NBA in the 80s and 90s. The NBA was only about the elite players. Even when we talk about the guys on the bench, these guys were the second elite players in the world, right? We didn't have to reach out to get international players in the 80s and 90s because we didn't have the ratings. Okay, this is what the NBA did. Their ratings were falling off the damn map once we got, I don't know, about 2004. They already started to drop when Michael Jordan left. They already started to drop. But by the time we got to about 2005, I would say about 2007, really. About 2007. And it really showed when the king and one of the most boring dudes of all time, Tim Duncan. The king and Tim Duncan. What a big matchup, right? Tim Duncan going for, was that 3 back then? No, I think it was 4. It was 3 or 4. Either he was going for a dynasty or he was adding on to his dynasty, right? I think that was 4 because he won the 2014 and retired. Either way. And then you had the king, right? The king finally gets his chance to go to the finals after he missed the playoffs for 2 seasons when he first came in. And then he makes the playoffs in his 3rd season. Makes the finals, only being in the playoffs 1 time. Wow. Hold on, wait. You can't make this up. Let's add to this. With no all-star teammate, like they always say, he carried a bunch of nobodies. No all-star teammate, no Hall of Fame teammate, no top 75 teammate. This guy makes it to the finals after being in the playoffs for 1 time only in his career. Imagine this happening in the 80s or 90s, what kind of league would you say this was? I would say it would be on his ass already on the downside, really bad, right? So the same king goes to the finals against Tim Duncan in the Spurs, which, bro, you already knew one of the most fundamentally sound teams of all time, right? So you already know you got to be on your game. You already know defense, screens, the X's and O's, the moving the ball. You got to be on your game. So nobody asked LeBron to go there and win and beat the Spurs. But now we got to cry a river. We got to comfort this guy because this was his biggest playoff meltdown of all time, biggest finals meltdown of all time. And what do? They say, "Excuse me, sir, but we're gonna excuse LeBron. He was young." Oh my goodness. So look here. When Michael Jordan was 22 and he was playing the Celtics, the Big Five Celtics in '86, right? He was coming off a broke foot. Only played 15 games that season. What do? Michael went in there and scored 63 in one game, still playoff high, averaged 43 points per game, and like it was crazy, like 6 rebounds, 5 assists. It was 2 steals, 1 block. And what happened was that's when Michael Jordan made his name, right? Now everybody knew he was not going to beat that Big Five Boston team with 4 Hall of Famers, no, 4 top 75 players and 1 Hall of Famer. Everybody knew that. Mike didn't have an all-star teammate. And he did it the next year. Had to play the Big Five Boston Celtics game. Now, again, Mike was the same age, 22, as LeBron. And LeBron got swept. Michael Jordan got swept. But what was so incredible about it, this is why we know Michael Jordan to this day. Not for him getting beat, because he went out there and he was dropping all-time great numbers on these guys. Okay, it's going to take all this to beat me. 5 Hall of Famers, well, I have nobody. Well, guess what? I'm going to outplay all you guys and make sure the world knows this is what it takes to beat me. So he went out there, put up these all-time numbers, and he made his name. That's how Mike made his name. By not backing down. By putting up historic record-breaking numbers. So nobody made no excuse for this dude, right? Nobody said, "Oh, Mike, man, he scored, 22 points a game, shot 39% from the field, shot 20-something percent from the three, 60-something percent from the line, and had 6 turnovers a game." But he was young. Nobody said that. He said, Mike is a different dude. This is what you're going to need to beat Mike. We didn't say that for LeBron, right? We made excuses for him. And it kept going. Been making excuses for this grown-ass baby all of his career. A grown-ass baby. So Kevin Durant. You should be getting on LeBron. You should be getting on the media because guess what? Last year you won the last Olympics you won it by yourself. Or was that the FIBA? It was the Olympics or the FIBA. LeBron has never won in the Olympics without Kevin Durant or Kobe Bryant or Carmelo Anthony. Has never won one. A FIBA neither, right? Not a FIBA neither. So this is why when the FIBA team lost last year with the next Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards, Halliburton, Brunson, Paolo Banchero, and a whole bunch of slew of dudes, and LeBron was the first one. Oh, I want to bring Gold back. You think he took them guys under his wing and said, let's go do this? You don't think that's enough talent? Look at the talent Joker had. Nope. LeBron had to dismantle that whole team. And guess what? This is the team he got right now in the Olympics. Because LeBron need a front run. He can't get young people and show them the ropes and show them how to play. You can't do that. I'm talking about who ain't already. I don't know, man. I just haven't seen it. He didn't get no guys out of the draft and mold them. He never did nothing like that. And those guys from that FIBA team, I mean, they're really young. He needs guys that's already, you know, superstars, superstar. So Kevin Durant should be clapping back at the media because they're promoting LeBron like he's carrying this team. He's getting dunks and layups. That's the only reason why he's in the lineup. He's not more skilled of a player than any dude that he's starting in front of. No way. But the fact that he can just go to the basket, bull charging, and do dunks and layups, and if you even say, hey, LeBron, they're going to call a foul on you, right? Because what it used to be, we used to play under FIBA rules. But now I guess we're playing under the United States rules because LeBron, this is his last stand. This is his team. In Clutch Sports, put money in people's pockets. So if you're the opponent, you better get a 30-point lead because ain't no league safe with these referees. It just ain't. You better get a 30-point lead. So Kevin Durant, they're not giving you no credit when you go out there and you're on the LeBron James team. They ain't giving you no credit. And you're hitting these incredible shots. They're still giving it to LeBron. And I don't even know why you went to go play with this bum. Because you knew what the deal was going to be. But this is just what it is, man. These fans is clapping back at you, Kevin Durant, because you should be blowing these guys out by 30 and 40 points. Just because you let this league let some non-NBA players in it that wouldn't make the 80s and 90s team, that don't mean they're good as they was back in the 80s and 90s. They won't make it. And again, like I said in my last video, the only reason why they're not able to blow some of these teams out is because we play international basketball now. We don't play our basketball, right? We don't play inside out. We don't play fundamental skills at every position in a positional setting. We play international basketball, 4 guys on the perimeter, right? That's international basketball. So yes, they can catch up to us, and they caught up to us because we're playing their style of basketball. They couldn't come and play in the NBA like that back in the day because they weren't good enough because we played our basketball. And when we went internationally with the Dream Team 1, 2, and 3, we stomped them out because we're playing our ball. We're not playing their ball. We're the United States, man.